After our black women sat up there and dealt with that disrespect for 3 hours, this little gets his monkey ass up there and he says, I'm glad my lady friends came out. They all single. They a bunch of lonely.
All right, let's pull this up. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into it, I need you to disrespect that like button. They called me 40. Now, where do we start? In this video, we're going to be reacting to Dr. Umar Johnson's latest comments on Kevin Hart. Let's get to it.
Let's get into this Kevin Hart thing because Kevin Hart came out after you criticized him. You criticized Kevin Hart,
and
Shane Gillis, and all criticism, right? And we're gonna get into them. Kevin Hart came out and went on Breakfast Club. If you haven't saw it, I can pull the video.
I saw clips,
and
the clips that I think were relevant.
Okay, what is your response to Kevin Hart's position on the Netflix comedy roast? He said that this is comedy. I didn't say the George Floyd joke, and I'm not responsible. What do you feel as Dr. Umar Johnson?
I'll say it again. Stop talking as if I said it. So when you say the family and the family's affected, I didn't disrespect the family. Showed up for the family when it happened. So I can explain to you like the world of the roast, X, Y, and Z. We talked. I get it, Kev. We had a great conversation. But that's what I mean when I say, hey, man, let me call the one person after. You do know that that's what this shit is a roast, but I just want you to know from my side, that man is on his own.
You ain't lead with that, Kev. You should have been leading with that the whole time.
I don't need to.
People just want to know you care.
I don't need to prove to people that I give a fuck.
You do.
No, I don't.
Just this time. This one time.
No.
Yes, this one.
No.
Now, I'm going to say this, right? I understand when it comes to being a comedian, it's supposed to be edgy. There's supposed to be lines crossed. It's supposed to be shock value involved. But at the end of the day, as a black man in America, we can't pretend like there aren't people who are racist in real life who just happen to be comedians who are going to use their platform to get off bull. See, you can get away with a lot of things when you're actually funny. But when you're not funny, it's just like, what are we doing here? Are we here to make people laugh? At the end of the day, I laugh at offensive jokes all the time. But some of the stuff I heard about Cheryl, them making fun of her dead husband who committed suicide, some of that stuff, it just got to the point to where, what are we doing here? It's not even funny, and it's just low blow after low blow. So I understand what Kevin Hart is saying from a comedic aspect. He shouldn't be responsible for what somebody else says, right? I get exactly what he's saying. And he don't want to mess his bag up. So he's going to play along with the get along game, right? The issue is this: when you offer a space and a platform for racism to be injected into the culture, but under the manners of, oh, well, I'm a comedian, so I get to say what I want to say, you're going to always get the side eye. Always. It was too many jokes that went unpunished. You should have checked some of that stuff. But you sticking to this code that I'm a comedian. No, you're rich. Let's call a spade a spade. You rich and you've been rich for a long time and you don't consider yourself black anymore. That's really what it is. But we finna keep going.
This is, I think I get what you're saying and how you stand on your business, and I respect you for that.
I'm not standing on my business.
Or whatever it is. I think with certain things,
not say it.
But their pushback is it happened at Kevin Hart's roast.
I don't have those answers. You understand what I'm saying? Like the responsibility just it starts to compile as if I'm the one in charge. We are not in charge of the dialogue from anybody on that stage.
If Tony calls you right now and says, man, Kev, man, I was out at the comedy club, man, and man, this dude, man, who said he was George Floyd's brother, smacked the shit out of me.
You gotta deal with that.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
I was always very proud of what Kevin Hart has done with his life coming from Philadelphia. I don't know him, I never met him, but I've always supported him from the shadows. With regard to him saying that this is comedy and black people should just tolerate it, if that's the case, Lone, why were 18 jokes removed from the final sets? Kim Kardashian joke removed. Donald Trump joke removed. Donald Trump wife's jokes removed. Kevin Hart didn't allow anybody to make jokes about his children, nor should he have. Removed 18 jokes, Loon, were taken from the final roast. So if you can exempt Donald Trump, if you can exempt Kim Kardashian, if you can exempt Melania Trump, if you can exempt your children as you should, why couldn't you exempt George Floyd? Why couldn't you exempt our enslavement? Why couldn't you exempt our lynchings? Why couldn't you?
He got a point. You can love him or hate him. He has a valid point. If you're going to operate on the premise that this is just comedy, you can't at the same time say, well, we're going to draw a line over here, but we don't draw a line over there. That makes what you're saying is disingenuous. He's exactly right. We can't gloss past that. So
exempt Cheryl Underwood's vagina? You really gonna let this damn Neanderthal get up here and make a joke about a black woman's vagina when a black woman's body has been the most disrespected, exploited, and objectified thing in American history? Our women been and abused, still in abuse, and you're gonna let this man talk under my sister's clothes on international television with over 13 million viewers, and you're gonna tell me to just accept it because it's just comedy? All right, when y'all gonna do this to a Jewish comedian? I wanna see a night full of Holocaust jokes. I wanna see a night full of Jewish jokes. When we gonna get a Jewish comedian and roast them? Loon, you ain't gonna never get that. You ain't gonna never get that, because nobody but a Negro will let white people stunt all over the pain and shame of their people's history and current predicament and laugh it off as a joke. How dare Shane Gillis, that Neanderthal, get up there and say Cheryl Underwood's husband committed suicide? Obviously, black does crack if it's married to Cheryl and jumps off a roof. Is that a joke? That was a humiliation ritual. It was a humiliation ritual for Cheryl Underwood. It was a humiliation ritual for Kevin Hart. It was a humiliation ritual for Lizzo, for Tiffany Haddish, for Draymond Green. And the only person up there who stood relatively strong is my beautiful butter almond sister, Regina Hall. Fine as heaven. And she sat up there.
it's crazy he mentioned that. It definitely was some humiliation rituals going on that night. I don't know if y'all aware of this, but Lizzo just dropped the album. I want to say either last week or a week before, and she only sold 3,000 copies. I don't know what's up with that, but it's a lot going on. People better be careful with what events, which situations, which programming. You better be careful in 2026 what you involve yourself in, because it literally could ruin the rest of your life, ruin the rest of your career. A lot of these people ain't as rich as Google might lead you to believe.
Like a gangster, hardly smiling at any of it. She wanted to walk off, but she maintained her composure for her friend Kevin Hart, and then he turned around. After our black women sat up there and dealt with that disrespect for 3 hours, this little midget gets his monkey ass up there and he says, "I'm glad my lady friends came out. They all single. They a bunch of lonely bitches." This is how he closes out the roast. I wish you say something to me. I wish you say something to me. After those black women sat up there and dealt with all them disrespectful jokes, did you hear what they said about Cheryl Underwood? They said Cheryl Underwood is as black as the street is black. Her clothes and her hair looks just like her pussy. Boom! Cheryl Underwood looks like a pile of mud that somebody prayed to come to life. Cheryl Underwood got a daytime Emmy because she too dark to get one at night.
I'm gonna be honest, Umar has a very interesting point that you can't ignore. Kevin Hart, he should have took some time to kind of like balance out all of those racist jokes. But instead of doing that, he went in on his own people. It's not a good look. It's definitely not a good look. I didn't even think about it from this aspect. You watch your sisters get beat on for 3 hours, then you get up there and you just dump more fuel to the fire, it's never gonna be a good look.
Loon, imagine how every dark-skinned black woman felt watching that. Imagine how every dark-skinned black girl watching that. That was not the roast of Kevin Hart. That was the public lynching of black America. A roast is supposed to be about you, Loon. Not George Floyd, not Cheryl Underwood, not 246 years of African slavery in America.
That point.
Not 200 years of lynching. The roast is supposed to be about Kevin Hart, not black America. And for him to get on the Breakfast Club and double down on that, and say I understood why they told them jokes. Please.
Is there a difference between Kevin Hart being personally offended and being publicly responsible? Because he act like what they said about me didn't offend me. That's what you get a lot when you deal with comedy, and I'm a fan of comedy, but you get that a lot where it's like, yo, the jokes are jokes. I'm not offended.
If a joke is a joke, why did the transgenders try to get Dave Chappelle canceled? If a joke is a joke, why did the transgenders try to get Dave Chappelle canceled? If a joke is a joke, why did they cancel Kevin Hart several years ago from hosting, I think it was the Oscars, for some LGBT jokes he had on Twitter? If a joke is a joke, Loon, why is everybody allowed to be offended except us?
Right.
Ain't no joke is no joke. They are testing us to see how far we will go back to where we've been. They want to put black people back in Jim Crow. They want to put black people back in Reconstruction. And if we let them get away with an all-white lynching in the Carmelo case, if we let them get away with 2 Asian shop owners vindicated after murdering black people, Latasha Harlins in the back of her head, Cyrus Belton in his back, we gonna let Kevin Hart and Netflix get away with a night full of racist, defamatory, derogatory jokes about the black race? There will only be more of it. I am proud of all the black people who stood up to Kevin Hart and Netflix and said this was not acceptable. I am proud of all the black people who stood up for Carmelo Anthony and Cyrus Carmack Belton Loon. You know why? White people need to see we ain't all like that. And what did I tell you before, Loon? We're going to have a civil war in black America. It ain't got to be violent. It could be intellectual. But we got to have a civil war to find out what side you on. Because if there's any Negro trying to justify Carmelo's sentence, you on that side. If there's any Negro trying to justify Rick Child's acquittal, you.
I can't believe that I'm about to say this. Because sometimes I agree with Dr. Umar, and there's other times I feel like he's just making content and placating to his audience. In this video right here, he didn't utter one word that I disagree with. Not one word. I honestly, you know what I wish I should have did? I should have took the Netflix roast of Kevin Hart and ran it through Grok or Claude and asked her what percentage of jokes were actually told about Kevin Hart versus the jokes that were told about other people. And I guarantee you, majority of those jokes in that roast were actually told about Cheryl Underwood. So imagine it being the roast of Kevin Hart, but a percentage of the jokes went towards one person. And there are multiple people on stage. Jokes were being said about 18 different people. Mind you, at the roast it's only one person named in the roast, Kevin Hart. That's who should be getting roasted. I understand people on stage are going to take shots at each other to spice it up. But majority of those jokes was racist jokes targeted at black women. And for Kevin Hart to take the stand that he took, it was disrespectful and it's disingenuous. And the fact that now I'm getting this knowledge that you ban certain jokes from the show. Oh, this is where I draw the line. This is where I draw the line. But you don't draw the line disrespecting somebody's dead husband that committed suicide. It's disingenuous, but it lets you know our skin folk ain't kinfolk. And some people are going to choose money over everything. And they're going to hide behind the saying, well, it's just comedy. Yeah, it's to some degree, that's true. But to other degree, we know that other things, you got to be able to read between the lines. Because he's exactly right. We're never going to see a roast on Netflix where 30 comedians get on stage and they make fun of the Holocaust. Never going to happen. It's not going to happen. So he's exactly right. I'm not going to get into the Carmelo Anthony stuff. I am living out here in the DFW area in Texas, but I can say I think Carmelo is responsible for the death of that young man. Should he have gotten 35 years? I completely disagree. Completely disagree. If I was on that jury, I would have found him guilty of manslaughter, not murder. But the fact that a child in the same area, those two counties aren't that far apart, where a child on the record told multiple students that he was going to put a certain student in the hospital or put him in the ICU, and he stabbed somebody 4 times and he gets 10 years compared to somebody who stabbed somebody once and he gets 35. There's no consistency with our justice system, and we know that. We know that black people, black men specifically, they're prosecuted to higher degrees than their white counterparts. We know that they get more time on average than their white counterparts for the same crimes. I'm not trying to turn this into a political channel. I'm just stating the facts, right? I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider joining the community. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. If you're still here, just drop something in the comments. If you got any suggestions, anything that I can do better, or if you just want to join the conversation and put your thoughts in the comments, let me know. Is Kevin Hart a coon? Do we need to add him to the coon list? What's going on? But yeah, I'm doing my best to try to get better at this content thing. So make sure you drop some thoughts in the comments. Give me some pointers. Give me some tips. If you want to keep the conversation going, join the community, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. They call me 40.